everyone's making a video about Dr. Making a video at this point would be completely irrelevant because on the other hand, already made it super good to get the views because at the end of the day, nobody wants to watch the video profiles. Okay, I'll talk about it. Seeing as I'm new to creating content on this channel, paired with the fact that one of the biggest names in gaming and entertainment just shot himself in the foot, it means that this is finally a chance for me to make some content that I can finally reference when, you know, I'm a lot better at this in the future, hopefully. Whether you're new to YouTube or you've been here since its inception, there's some faces that have been here since the beginning. People that you know because they've showed up on your homepage at one point or another. Some of these people that have been on the platform since day one. Mr. Beast, Matt Pat, Moist Critical. These are just some of the creators that have shown what a good person can do with a platform, and how a person with truly good intentions really does good things. Now, what happens when somebody passes all the tests and gains that unwavering trust from their fan base, only to betray everyone who's ever supported them from the beginning? Absolute chaos ensues. I tell you, the internet will never let this go.
Why did Dr. Disrespect get banned from Twitch at the height of his popularity in 2020?
The guy is gross, the guy is disgusting, and honestly, should never be respected.
This is not a person who's good at making decisions.
Like, the fact that he was out here playing the victim, to me, is just an absolute joke.
Yeah.
I want to show you how somebody who has gained top tier creator respect from their community can get away with basically making millions of dollars from the very people who would vote to ban them if they know who they were truly watching. Dr. Disrespect, or Guy Beam if you can believe that's his name, started making content about 15 years ago where he did commentary voiceovers over Call of Duty as well as other gaming content.
And when you face the Dr. Disrespect, there ain't no...
Given his highly exaggerated persona and loudmouth antics, Guy started to make a name for himself in, at the time, a very small but growing community on YouTube. You see, Dr. Disrespect saw YouTube as the cash cow back then that everybody sees it for now. And so the guy got busy formulating a persona and slowly added to it based on what he knew the fan base wanted from him. And in many ways, I actually kind of look up to how the guy was building a brand, kind of like in the same way you can respect an action done by various different people. Obviously, the guy isn't a great person behind closed doors, but I personally can respect the obvious grind all the way to the top when I see one. That being said, nobody should have a platform when they have admitted to doing the things that he's admitted to doing in this video. Guy literally got to help build some of the biggest games in the Call of Duty franchise. The type of connections he would have had to have made just to take part in something as somebody who just started from creating videos in their studio is absolutely an achievement. But that was only the beginning for Guy Beam. He was making deals with companies like Sledgehammer where he became their community manager, which led to him helping create maps on Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I'm just saying this because I think it's crazy to go for all these types of achievements and then let yourself and your entire reputation fall for such a meaningless, stupid act. Fast forward a little bit to 2015, Guy, still working at Sledgehammer, started streaming on Twitch, which at the time had the fantastic name of Justin TV. And I'm sure Justin had no idea how big that would be. Dr. Disrespect was completely embraced on that platform and quickly became like one of the biggest or most viewed people on the platform for quite some time, which led to him getting huge brand deals with companies like Gillette, Rawcat, Game Fuel, and Asus. Yeah, for anyone wondering why he always screamed Gillette.
Gillette! The best a man can get!
That's why. As we get a little further down that year, the road becomes a little bumpy as it comes out that Guy cheated on his wife, and then she actually made him admit it live on stream.
I want to be transparent that I've been unfaithful, and I'm probably going to be taking some time away.
As much as this was a setback for him, he clearly wanted to sweep it under the rug when it was all over in his mind, regardless of what he thought his viewers wanted to know. Which leads me to quickly want to explain why I'm making this video to begin with. Sure, the things we see that Guy has admitted to might not be illegal, and you know, as he's gonna say, no wrongdoing was done. I just want to remind everybody that YouTube isn't a place where you owe somebody a view. It's all based off respect, and so if people find out that you've done something extremely morally incorrect, I think that people have a right to know, as well as all of these people saying, hey man, you didn't do anything illegal. Is that where we should draw the line? Just because it's not illegal, you should be allowed? No. Because hey, I'm not gonna lie, from time to time, I watch Dr. Disrespect. Am I going to now?
No!
But I do think there's value in the opinions of people who have watched his stream, because from what I can see online, there's either the opinions of people who watch their stream all the time or people who don't watch his stream at all. That being said, we're just looking at the facts here. As Doc was recovering from people realizing that he's capable of cheating on his wife, another thing happened where he tried to get his cameraman to follow him in the bathroom at TwitchCon, which is obviously highly illegal, against the rules. Obviously, anybody with a brain would have been able to completely freaking avoid this, especially since it immediately resulted in a TOS ban from Twitch. Which is weird to me, because how can a guy achieve all of this, but then completely disregard something that is so detrimental to his entire career? Really don't understand that yet.
We fucked up.
Surprisingly, these were small obstacles for Guy Beam, as he used all of the controversy and the drama as fuel to get him onto more eyes, and he had a fan base that believed every single word that came out of his mouth. Essentially, every other day, Doc was making unimaginable amounts of money, being the face of the company for anybody who was interested in gaming at the time. But then one day, poof, he was gone and banned entirely from the platform that he had built his entire brand on. People were confused and didn't know what to think what happened, as everybody was left in the dark, with little to no conclusive evidence to pull any real conclusion from. Twitch made a statement saying, "As is our process, we take appropriate action when we have evidence that a streamer has acted in violation of our community guidelines or terms of service. These apply to all the streamers regardless of status or prominence in the community." But actually, to everybody's surprise, the same day Twitch decided to ban Doc, Discord also pulled the plug without a reason. Given the fact that Dr. Disrespect had been creating content longer than Twitch had actually been a business to begin with, people leaned towards wanting to believe Dr. Disrespect and thinking that maybe they were unfairly treating him in some sort of way, or engaging in some sort of shady attempt at an ulterior motive of some sort. And given the Doc's very brash stance at the time regarding these allegations, people tended to believe that Doc was actually getting taken advantage of, and not that he was actually doing something that they didn't agree with him doing. Then, Guy said in a statement, "Honestly, we just don't know. It was a total shock. Imagine showing up to work and the doors are closed and you can't get inside. You're going, what's going on? And you've been told that you've been fired, but you haven't been told the reason why. We just weren't given an answer. It was the worst feeling." I don't know about you guys, but in my 27 years of experience, when you get shit-canned in such a crazy way, you can almost always think back and pinpoint what the hell you did to get to that point. When he streamed to his entire fan base, that wasn't a right for him to just show up and all those people be there donating. That's very lucky, and that's where I think Dr. Disrespect also didn't realize that his job is a privilege, not a right. He didn't earn the right for all of us to watch him. He had the privilege of us wanting to watch him because we thought we were watching someone that shared the same type of morals we did. Sometimes, even if you don't know why you got fired, you can probably think really hard and realize that people rarely ever get fired for no reason. And the trend continues as Doc fell back on the platform that got it all started for him, YouTube. And no doubt found amazing success on it. The dude had a crazy loyal fan base, and it would have been much larger if it wasn't for the ban, as he says so many times.
Love over the month and a half since we've last streamed has been absolutely amazing. It's from Mrs. Assassin and the two-time back-to-back. That's me. Hard to put into words, man. And I appreciate all that.
Literally, some fans, and I knew a couple of them, made accounts quite literally just to watch Dr. Disrespect. They didn't do anything else on YouTube. They didn't watch Twitch in any other way. They just liked Dr. Disrespect, and so they made a YouTube account just to watch him, which kind of goes to show the kind of like persona that he built really did appeal to those type of people who didn't really even consume content on YouTube, but really liked his type of content. So they made one channel, they, subscribed to one channel, and then they only watch him. And you saw a lot of that from people in his comments. Amid the continued success of his YouTube channel, he did finally make a statement regarding the Twitch ban people still knew nothing about. In 2021, Guy finally announced that he knew the reason why he was actually banned on Twitch, but then used that as fuel for a lawsuit that he then launched against Twitch, while also still not releasing any of the real details of the situation.
And to end off my little discussion here, but a lot of people ask me, do you know the reason? Yeah, I do know the reason why now. I've known for months now the reason why. And I'll just say this right now, champs. There's a reason why we're suing the fuck out of them. Okay? I don't know how else to put it. The amount of damages and you just don't... No.
Throughout the next year, this was a highly talked about topic in Doc's comment sections on all of his videos. The sentiment was still people leaning towards Doc's favor, even though there was literally no evidence from either side actually brought forth to the public. People straight up thought they had a good judge of character when they were watching Doc, but they were wrong. Then, that next year, he did update his community with a post saying that he reached a settlement. The post said, "I have resolved my legal dispute with Twitch. No party admits any wrongdoing." And it's signed by him. Kinda. But in fact, he kind of just used this as well as a bunch of other future posts and comments he made to pretty much turn this all into a giant marketing stunt for himself and a huge promotional thing. Leading up to last week, before anybody released anything about the information on his ban, Doc was still using the lack of information as a form of promotion and to try to gain a bunch of sympathy from his fan base. To be fair, with the complete lack of evidence on the table, Guy had a lot of people convinced that this ban was probably over money or maybe him going to a different platform. Like I said in the beginning of the video, there's a reason people have been creating content this long or are trusted this much in the community, and it's usually because they are actually good people who have passed a bunch of tests. So nobody expected former Twitch employee Cody Connors to come right out and say without any evidence that he got banned because he got caught sexting a minor in the then existing Twitch Whisper product. He was trying to meet up with her at TwitchCon. The powers that be could read the plain text. This was hopped on by literally every commentary YouTuber instantly, with people very unsure whether or not to believe such a damning claim without evidence, as well as his friends came out of the woodworks backing him up, reminding people that it's innocent until proven guilty.
These are some crazy accusations. Crazy. Until we know them as fact, until they've been proven with evidence, what are we talking about? What's anybody talking about?
Jackman then made a series of tweets defending the guy, saying, "Innocent until proven guilty. An accusation this severe requires more evidence and investigation. Yes, I understand this allegation comes from a former Twitch employee, but with nothing else to go off of, we're left in a he say, she say situation. I hope it ain't true." And I'm not gonna lie, I was actually also pretty surprised at how quick the internet was to put labels on something that actually couldn't have a label on it yet, just to get those first juicy views. And I get it, but if this had actually went in Doc's favor here, it would have shown a lot of these channels' true intentions, where they're just quick to cancel somebody without waiting for their response. And as all these YouTube videos were coming out without Doc actually making a statement yet, Jackman then did make another post reminding everybody that the person who actually came out with these allegations did so in a way where they were trying to simultaneously promote and sell their band tickets. And I do agree, yes, that was a bold move that, if went wrong, could have potentially had a bunch of defamation lawsuit aspects to this. And I'm not like a huge fan of the Jackman, but the opinion stands, and I kind of agree with the fact that innocent until proven guilty, right? Well, what if I told you that Doc came out of the woodwork to clear this all up for us? Doc made a tweet and it said, "Listen, I'm obviously tied to legal obligations from the settlement with Twitch, but I just need to say what I can say since it's the fucking internet. I didn't do anything wrong. All this had been probed and settled. Nothing illegal, no wrongdoing was found, and I was paid. Elden Ring Monday. People clearly figured out very quickly that this was just a bunch of legal jargon, an obvious attempt to try to dance around the question at hand. Did he actually do it, and was the person a minor? He didn't deny it, and for the first time actually had his own fan base wondering,
I've made a huge mistake.
and this was, in my opinion, the first hint of actual evidence that kind of leaned in towards Doc actually not being all innocent in this case. A lot of people are just sitting here wondering what is actually preventing the doc from coming out and just saying, hey guys, there was no minor involved here. Because I don't think that there is any sort of legal binding agreement, no NDA, no document that can exist that makes you not able to defend yourself against allegations this crazy against you, unless they were in fact true. Now, I woke up Monday morning and decided to tune into his stream because I was wondering if something was actually gonna happen. I mean, guy was basically having 10 videos an hour made about him, and in my opinion, was basically a bomb waiting to go off. Right from the get-go, the stream chat was turned to members only, so only people who were paying could actually make a comment. This was probably an early on attempt to try to control the narrative, getting right into the stream that way. And then pretty early on, he made an announcement to everybody that he wasn't going to be talking about the allegations at all, that he already said his piece and he just wanted to play games.
For those that are looking for me to expand on this weekend, not gonna. I already said what I needed to say. I don't give a fuck about this guy. That's it.
But then he told his stream that he was thinking about and probably going to step away from social media like he had planned for so long.
It's wanting to just kind of move away from the limelight. Ultimately, that's what it's about. It's time to drive into the sunset, says Swervin. Oof, man, I like your style. It might be time to drive in the sunset, champ.
The thing is, though, is that earlier that day, Midnight Society, a company that he was a co-founder of, decided to completely cut ties with Guy after using some of their connections to dig a little bit deeper into the situation and find out some information that the general public isn't aware of. Then they released an official statement reading, "On Friday, we became aware of an allegation against one of our co-founders, Guy Beam, aka Dr. Disrespect. We assumed his innocence and began speaking with parties involved. And in order to maintain our principles and standards as a studio and individuals, we needed to act. For this reason, we're terminating our relationship with Guy Beam immediately. While these facts are difficult to hear and even more difficult to accept, it is our duty to act with dignity on behalf of all individuals involved, especially the 55 developers and families we have employed along with our communities of players." Now, this can't be proven, but a lot of people have their theories that during Doc's last stream on Monday, when he looked down at his phone, that was the exact moment he realized that Midnight Society had cut complete ties with him. Given his reaction and his complete change in demeanor, I think that that's a pretty fair assumption to make here. Now this kind of backs up Midnight Society's statements because they clearly terminated their relationship with Guy. And that is very strong wording. It insinuates that they clearly cut off ties with Guy. It wasn't mutual, they were like, nah. But as you could expect, the exact opposite sentiment was shared in Doc's tweet that said, "The Twitch ban. Hello. I'd like to make a quick statement. Let's cut the f***ing bullshit. As you know, there's no filter with me. I've always been upfront and real with you guys, anything that I can be upfront about, and I'm always willing to accept responsibility, which is why I'm here now. First and foremost, I do want to apologize to everyone in my community as well as those close to me, my team, and everyone at Midnight Society Game Studio. A lot of people have been left in the dark about what happened yesterday with Midnight Society, and we made the painful decision collectively to have me step down. Our team is full of incredibly talented and good people that have high career ambitions and families. I'd never want to jeopardize the culture we have carefully crafted. Everyone has been wanting to know why I was banned from Twitch, but for reasons outside of my control, I was not allowed to say anything for the last several years. Now that 2 former Twitch employees have publicly disclosed the accusations, I can now tell you my side of the story regarding the ban. Were there Twitch whisper messages with an individual minor back in 2017? The answer is yes. Were there intentions behind these messages? The answer is absolutely not. These were casual, mutual conversations that sometimes leaned too much in the direction of being inappropriate, but nothing more. Nothing illegal happened. No pictures were shared. no crimes were committed. I never even met with the individual. I went through a lengthy arbitration regarding a civil dispute with Twitch, and that case was resolved by a settlement. Let me be clear. It was not a criminal case against me, and no criminal charges have ever been brought against me. Now, from a moral standpoint, I'll absolutely take responsibility. I should have never entertained these conversations to begin with. That's on me as an adult, a husband, and a father. It should have never happened. I get it. I'm not perfect and I'll f***ing own my shit. This was stupid. But then he goes on a rant saying, now, with all this said, don't get it f***ing mistaken. I've seen all the remarks and labels being thrown around so loosely. Social media is a destruction zone. I'm not a predator or pedophile. Are you kidding me? Anyone that truly knows me f***ing knows where I stand on those things and those types of people. F*** that. That's a different level of disgust that I fucking hate even hearing about. Don't be labeling me as the worst of the worst with your exaggerations. Get the f*** out of here with that shit. Now, I'm only here to talk definitively when the actual facts are presented. And since he straight up admitted here that he was texting somebody that he knew was a minor, and since he did admit to sending inappropriate text to a minor, paired with the fact that there was no mention of him not knowing the age of this person, it paints a pretty bad look for Guy Beam. Not to mention how he swears up and down that there was no intentions behind the things he was saying in the texts, which apparently to some people is an all-out lie from what they've seen from their sources. He's basically saying he did all the things that would lead up to a crime, but he got caught before the crime was actually committed. And in my opinion, things start to get a little bit more weird when you take a look at this previous statement he made where he was really adamant on telling people that he never actually met the person. Like, none of us were thinking that, but now we are, because he said it, and it leaves us all wondering what could have happened if all of this just went left unchecked. I just personally think that Guy is most likely downplaying the type of conversations that were had on the Whisper system, because some pretty swift action was taken by Midnight Society after they got their connections to dig a little deeper and get the information we still don't know about. They obviously found the evidence they needed to take such a strong stance against the guy. Also, another person in charge of Midnight Studios went on Twitter and stated this. This is a statement for me personally. It does not reflect any of my companies and has not gone through any legal or PR approvals. If you inappropriately message a minor, I cannot work with you, period. I promise to only act on facts, and I did. Which paints an even more grim picture for what those messages might have entailed. But I don't think that these messages are ever going to reach the public eye, mostly due to the fact that they can't because of the minor safety. And suddenly, with Doc's admission, everybody who was pretty quick to defend him had to come out and denounce his actions, as they should. This was TimTheTatman's response.
Wow, this is absolutely insane, bro. Everything I'm seeing. I have known Doc for a while now. We've played games for years, and seeing everything that is spiraling right now is a very difficult thing for me personally, and I'm sure for a lot of y'all out there. I think for me, I know a lot of you are asking, Tim, what are you feeling? Tim, what are you feeling? My bottom line, I think, is if what he is saying, where he said that he was messaging a minor and it would sometimes lead to teeter on inappropriate, if he knew that was a minor and those were the messages being sent, I cannot support that. I can't. I appreciate y'all. This is beating me up, but this is unfortunate to say the least. This is awful. So appreciate you guys. Thank you for the love you give, and I'll see y'all soon, man.
Man, you can tell that he really doesn't know how to process this yet. I mean, he's a religious guy, so this probably has a lot more weight, and a lot more people could probably just brush this off, but Doc was really close to him, and hopefully his numbers go up, because all of the ex-Dr. Disrespect fans are going to be looking for some place to migrate to, and they're going to be used to all the damn yelling that Tim's used to doing on his stream.
Come on in, the water's warm.
Oh my God, it's so toasty in here, dude.
The water's warm, juice Magoose. We're coming off a big win. If we lose the next one, it's on you, bro. It's on you.
There's 2 chats, they always spawn there.
There's also Nick Merckx, who was very quick to jump on the defensive for Doc, but after all of this released, kind of updated his opinion, obviously, and this is what it was.
I'm seeing everything on Twitter, and I read through Doc's tweet, and in that very tweet, he basically confirms that, you know, he was texting an underage girl, and it went weird sometimes, you know, and look, just to be blunt and straightforward, man, that's inexcusable. It's unacceptable, right? There's no excuse for something like that, and I can't support it. Hang on, honey. Doing this, talking to Twitter. I can't support it. I can't defend it. And look, the boys and I are torn up over it too, man, because we played a lot of games with the guy, and it feels a little weird, but what can you do, you know? So I just wanted to update you guys on my thoughts and how I'm feeling. And I mean, look, I hope you guys have a good day, all right?
Obviously, everybody is going to start distancing themselves because not only is he now a brand risk, but it's just also morally wrong to knowingly support that behavior. So we cannot blame these guys for cutting all ties and making sure their fan base knows where they stand on that type of thing. You can't label them as a bandwagon hopper or a virtue signaler when you yourself would do the exact same thing in that situation. I'm sure you heard another person in that clip of all of them gaming, right? Yeah, that was Ninja, and from time to time, Ninja did play some Fortnite with TimTheTatman and Doc, so you know that he had to come out with a statement, and here that is.
No matter what it looks like publicly, it usually means someone did something, right? Or there was some truth to enough truth, right? You settle to cover things up. You settle to not let things get out there. Don't text minors or do any of that shit.
So yeah, it looks like Doc's reputation is officially done for. He says he's not going anywhere, but I think there's a pretty high likelihood that he's going to probably get banned on YouTube sooner than later, because situations like this definitely lead to big companies inevitably wanting to cut all ties with you. Although, as we've seen with TechLead recently, YouTube tends to let some rule breakers stay on the platform, so we will see what YouTube's stance is in the future as more and more people are cutting ties with the guy. When you get down to it, there's really no excuse for what he did, in my opinion. Was it illegal what he did? No, probably not. We the viewer don't owe the creator a view, but we the viewers don't owe the creator a view, and the relationship we have with them is one out of respect. So then when you do something as disgusting as this, and then try to hide behind a wall of legal jargon, it just makes you look more guilty of the thing that everyone cares about, which in this case was if the person was a minor. I really don't know how he could have done this in the first place. It's clear that this man knew how to do a lot of things successfully. He has a wife and kid, a successful career up until this point, lots of money, an insane work ethic that allowed him to build up a life that some people could only dream of having. Most people could only dream of having. So why in the world would he want to screw that up for just a few messages? Fame and fortune aside even, there is really no excuse for him to want to have done what he did unless he was just a shit human being. Personally, I think maybe the reason is because maybe there's an aspect of fame that got so deep into his head, it probably really started screwing with the way he saw the outside world, because let's face it, no one man should be loved or hated that much ever, and it's bound to knock some screws loose upstairs. Either way, it's pretty clear the internet's made up their mind already, but I want to know what you guys have to say in the comments. Do you think the cancellation is just, or do you think that the actual chat logs need to be released before people have the ability to completely ruin someone's career that fast? I think trying to defend Doc after he admitted to all of these things is kind of fighting an uphill battle. But no hate in the comments, I would love to hear what everybody has to say. And if you enjoyed this video, leaving a like and subscribing to the channel greatly helps me. Now, without further ado, it's 2:53 a.m. and I'm gonna go cuddle my cat.